I thought I wasn't supposed to wake up yet. Surely we hadn't reached Lisbon. My broken sense of time and my helplessness were frustrating, and there seemed to be nothing I could do about being awake. I was supposed to be playing dead until after we arrived in Portugal, and I doubted that I was going to pass muster at customs if I was breathing. I slid my hands up, unable to push the box open, feeling an unfamiliar cloth and strapping holding me down as I brushed against my clothes. Or rather, not my clothes. I couldn't see in the dark, but I could tell by the feel that I wasn't wearing the jeans and sweater I'd had on when I laid down on the embalming table. I shuddered, thinking that someone had changed my clothes and strapped me to the base of the coffin. If that someone was Carlos, I was going to slap him numb, necromancer or not. I chided myself not to get hysterical over such a small point. It was probably Tova who'd managed it, making me look more corpse-like and appropriately dressed for my funeral as well as safely tied down. She'd cleaned up the rat bite on my leg as well, for which I was grateful, but not put any more at ease. I plucked at the straps that kept me from rolling and sliding in my casket. No matter how much my clothes made me look like a stiff, I was now breathing and sweating as the silent panic started. I wasn't sure I could be a convincing corpse without Carlos's help, and I had no way to get it. It didn't matter if he, too, was wide awake, since neither of us could slither out of our portable graves and have a cozy chat about the problem. Given the state of the world, with terrorism, epidemics, floods, and fires everywhere, and civil war in Syria and Turkey, as well as dozens of other problems leading to unrest and paranoia at home and internationally, if I made one ill-timed sound or rolled in the box as it was being moved, no one was going to simply pass the coffin on without taking a look inside first. That would be a disaster. I schooled myself to be still, and quiet as my own corpse. I tried sinking down toward the gray. My box lurched and I heard the engine downshift and groan. I couldn't concentrate in the jostling box and had to give up my dive for the gray. But at least it seemed I wasn't in a plane after all. A truck? I hoped it was a truck in Portugal and not a truck crossing the tarmac at whatever transshipment point we'd passed through. I hated the idea of being lost luggage somewhere in Europe. Wherever I was, something was keeping me from gaining access to or even a view of the gray or its writhing energy grid. It could have been a side effect of the zinc lining in the box, but I wasn't certain. I knew steel and silver both had unusual properties in the gray, but I wasn't sure if magical interactions were universal to all metals. I would have bet that the problem had something to do with my being inside a metal box inside a metal truck, but there was no way to test the hypothesis at that moment. I wasn't all that interested in trying anyway. It was always possible I'd sink too far, displace myself, and fall out of the truck at whatever speed we were going in traffic. After what felt like a couple of hours in my stuffy little coffin as the truck wound up and down some steep hills and swayed around hairpin turns, the vehicle stopped and I was unloaded. I was pretty sure the people moving my box were being careful, but I still got jarred around and collected a couple of bruises from thumping into the side when someone lost their grip. Even through the zinc and wood, I could hear swearing. It wasn't English swearing, but the tone was the same, even if I didn't understand the words. I held my breath and didn't swear back, just in case. Then came the trundling sound of a cart underneath me before another spate of lifting, tilting, jostling, swearing, and finally a ringing thump as the coffin was set down on some hard surface. Eventually, sounds of the box handlers faded away and the lid was opened. The dimly lit room I'd been brought to